about to show you. Chinese soldiers stationed along the border with India have some new weapons. They were struggling to operate in high altitudes in the difficult climatic conditions. So China is bringing in robots to help. You heard that right. China is deploying robotic weapons along the border with India. There are machine guns on wheels, and they can be fired with a remote control. Beijing's decision to give robots to the PLA could have dangerous implications, not just for this region, but for the rest of the world too. Our next report tells you how.
There is a new threat from China. It is not a battalion of soldiers or wolf warrior diplomats. It's these machines. Initially, they would remind you of remote control car toys. But look closely, these robots can do a lot more. They are equipped with a machine gun. Chinese soldiers can fire this gun from a distance and without any wires. There are cameras too, to watch what the adversaries are doing. China calls this vehicle the Shark Claw. 88 of these have been deployed in Tibet. Shark Claw has a partner. It's the Mule 200. This is a transport vehicle, so not as lethal as the Shark Claw, but the Mule would be very useful for the PLA. It can be used to transport valuable supplies like ammunition. China has deployed around 120 of these in Tibet. Robots are now joining the People's Liberation Army. Their induction is a prelude to something more sinister. For now, a soldier will operate these robots. But in the future, China wants weapons with a mind of their own. The PLA wants weapons with artificial intelligence. Beijing is moving swiftly to acquire such capabilities. The efforts began in 2017, when China unveiled a new artificial intelligence development plan. It advocated the use of AI in the military. Specific applications were listed out, like providing support to command and decision-making, military deductions, and development of defense equipment and related application. Private sector was roped in to accelerate these efforts. Chinese big tech companies like Alibaba, Baidu, Tencent, Xiaomi, and Huawei were labeled as AI champions. The PLA stands to benefit from the rapid strides these companies make. Already, different wings of the Chinese military are working on specific projects. The PLA ground force is developing robotics for the military. The Navy is working on autonomous submarines, while the Air Force is developing drones with an ability to think. These advancements should raise an alarm worldwide. Unfortunately, world powers are still ignoring the threat. This month, the United Nations tried to open negotiations for an international treaty on autonomous weapons. They failed. None of major weapons-producing countries were willing to have a conversation. These stonewalling tactics work to Beijing's advantage. The PLA gets more time to perfect the AI technology and develop killer robots, weapons that could make the world a more dangerous place.
I think the danger of AI is much greater than the danger of nuclear warheads by a lot.
On a wider question, how long have you had an internet connection, and how has that transformed your life?
I was one of the first people to be connected to the internet.
Take a look. We've made a breakthrough with the nanotechnology. We can rebuild any material faster than before.
Robots are one of the most interesting developments in robotics in recent years. They're small, nimble, and able to traverse environments that frustrate wheeled machines. So, of course, it was only a matter of time until someone put a gun on one. The image above shows a quadrupedal robot, a Vision 60 unit built by US firm Ghost Robotics, that's been equipped with a custom gun by small arms specialists Sword International. It seems the gun itself, dubbed the Spur or Special Purpose Unmanned Rifle, is designed to be fitted onto a variety of robotic platforms. It has a 30x optical zoom, thermal camera for targeting in the dark, and an effective range of 1,200 meters. What's not clear is whether or not Sword International or Ghost Robotics are currently selling this combination of gun and robot. But if they're not, it seems they will be soon. As the marketing copy on Sword's website boasts, the Sword Defense System Spur is the future of unmanned weapon systems, and that future is now. The machine was shown off for the first time at the Association of the United States Army's 2021 annual conference earlier this week. The conference bills itself as a land power exposition and professional development forum held in Washington, D.C., October 11th to 13th. The U.S. military has started testing robot dogs on patrol duty. Details about the partnership between Ghost and Sword are unclear, but Ghost's quadrupedal robots are already being tested by the U.S. military. Last year, the 325th Security Forces Squadron at Tyndall Air Force Base in Florida became the first unit in the Department of Defense to use quadrupedal robots in regular operations. It uses them to patrol the base's perimeter, navigating swampy areas that aren't desirable for human beings and vehicles, according to an interview with Ghost Robotics CEO Jiren Parikh. Although reconnaissance is one of the most obvious use cases for robot dogs, manufacturers are slowly experimenting with other payloads. As well as providing remote video and mapping, the machines could be used as mobile cell towers, to defuse bombs, or to detect chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear matter, otherwise known as CBRN. And of course, they can become weapons themselves. Boston Dynamics, the best-known manufacturer of quadrupedal robots and makers of Spot, has a strict policy against weaponizing its machines. Other manufacturers, it seems, aren't so picky. After all, plenty of companies already sell uncrewed gun platforms that use tank treads or wheels, so adding the same basic kit to legged machines isn't much of a stretch. The bigger question is how these robots will be deployed in the future, and what level of oversight will be required when they start firing lethal rounds at humans. For a while now, experts have been warning about the slow rise in the use of killer robots, known as Lethal Autonomous Weapon Systems, or LAWS, in official jargon, and official US policy does not prohibit their development or deployment. Many groups are campaigning for a preemptive ban on such systems, but in the meantime, It seems companies will continue to build what is possible. And that means putting guns on robot dogs.
There is out there. It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. It doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear. And it absolutely will not stop. Ever. Until you are dead.
But I think the development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race. Once humans develop artificial intelligence, it would take off on its own and redesign itself at an ever-increasing rate.
I read about this thing that DARPA was putting together. It's a robot called the EATR robot, EATR robot. It's a robot that fuels itself on biological matter. So it essentially can eat bodies. So you've got a murderous robot that eats people. It's its fuel.